One mic.
All I need is one mic.
It's just different.
One mic with Big Mike.
The overall tenor of what he's saying is very stupid.
And they say his style is too urban for the radio.
Maybe it's not racism. Maybe it's placism.
Brother has to know his place, right, Bob?
One mic with Big Mike.
Things aren't always what they seem.
A sports talk show, but no subject matter is off limit.
Don't just tell me that the reason something's being done is because that's the way it's always been done. Because the first thing I'm going to say to you is slavery.
And now, your host.
I got the big homie here who needs no introduction.
Big Mike.
All I need is one mic.
And yes, it is a Monday. It is a championship Monday right here on the One Mic with Big Mike show. What's going on, y'all? Hope you guys had a good weekend. Hope everybody survived Stormageddon, Freezageddon, 2017 here in the A and around the Southeast. There wasn't really much to do about nothing. Well, not for the people around my way. Like in the mountains, I guess people got a bunch of snow and ice and all that kind of stuff. Either way, man, we here. We here. Spreaker.com, the Spreaker app. Tune in. OneMicWithBigMike.com. Also live video streaming on Facebook. The Facebook page is at the number one MICWITHBIGMIKE. So you make sure you check that joint out. If you want to be involved in the show, simple. Text. Don't call. Text 404-902-8104. You can also leave your comments below the live streaming video here on Facebook, or you can jump on in my live interactive chat room on Spreaker. You have to be listening via Spreaker, or of course the website OneMicWithBigMike.com. You'll see a little thought bubble icon sitting right there on the streaming player. Just click on that. You'll be right inside the live interactive chat room where you guys can interact with me, other guests in the chat room. You can do whatever and say whatever the hell you want to. If you don't get a chance to stick around for the entire show, do not worry. All shows are podcasted and on demand on all the outlets I've already mentioned, as well as on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and YouTube. So make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube page. Please do that. Also subscribe to the iTunes and favorite or like or whatever it is, the iHeartRadio and the Stitcher and the Google Play and all those situations. And also make sure you guys are following me on Twitter and Instagram at the number one MICWITHBIGMIKE, because I got some stuff for you guys. You got to be following me to get it, though. I got some New Era hats. I think I'm going to call this thing Big Mike's Brims. Like every show promo that I do, usually, like lately I've been wearing my hat, my show hat. But every show promo, you guys pretty much see me with a different snapback hat on, New Era Mitchell & Ness hat. And I got a couple that are brand new. I ain't doing nothing with them. Got them here, and I want to give them out to the listeners of my show. So you guys be listening for how you can win Big Mike's Brims, but you got to be following me on Twitter, Instagram, and liking my Facebook page. They're all three the same, so it's easy, at One Mic with Big Mike. If you go to my Facebook page, you'll see Renee has put like tabs up on the Facebook page. I'm looking at them right now, so you can just click those little tabs on the side, the YouTube situation, Instagram, and the Twitter, and you can go right to it from the Facebook situation and give me all the likes and follows and all those good things that I can handle. All right, so today we're back from the weekend, long weekend. I didn't show up for work on Friday. Had to call out. Nah, it ain't like that. Well, it is like that. I didn't show up, but I'm back today. Tonight we got a championship game going on. The University of Alabama taking on. Is it Clemson University or the University of Clemson? I think it's Clemson University. For those of you who live under a rock and just come out to listen to my show, that's going on tonight. Other than that, we got my man Ben Troupe for Troupe Talk at the bottom of the hour, 7:30. So we'll lead up into the game with him. And I'm trying to get the hell up out of here today, man. I'm trying to get up out of here so I can watch this game. If you notice during the show now, you'll see me like looking up, like way up a lot if you're watching on the Facebook live stream. That's because I put a television above my monitor. So when I'm working, usually it was a picture-in-picture, and I would get distracted. So now I have to consciously look all the way up so as not to get distracted while I'm speaking to you guys, because I noticed that had been a little bit of a thing. Also, top of the hour, we're going to take a look back into the annals of sports and do a little thing we call On This Day on the show, where I give you guys some historical tidbits on some things that happened in the world of sports on this particular day in history. Other than that, God, I got a lot of stuff I got to talk about, though. and then Matt, my man, Matt Herndon at Custom Graphics, if you guys want to follow him on the old social media, jerk posted something about the Atlanta Hawks, and I got myself caught up into the conversation. It's been a while since I've done that. Like, fell into one of these damn social media conversations, these embracing of the embracing of debates, but it happened today. So I'll talk about the Hawks a little bit. Not even just the Hawks, because I don't want to sound like I'm just going to talk about the Atlanta Hawks, but there's some other teams that are going to be in the same situation as the Hawks are currently in, and I don't know if those teams have the same type of fan bases that reside here in my fair city of Atlanta and will be able to handle what the Hawks have coming their way here in the very, very near future. I guess the Golden Globes came on last night. I didn't see it myself. I don't watch award shows. I don't really do that whole situation, especially now we got social media. Why I got to watch every important thing that happened? Donald Glover, Meryl Streep, the dude who used to play House, I don't know his name, the English dude. You know, all the highlights are on my social media feed, so I don't have to sit down and watch no damn whole award show of people. And it's a room full of people that I don't think I can trust. Like, they act for a living. They show emotion for a living, or they feign emotion for a living. I can't trust none of y'all to be like, if you really happy or if you're really a jerk, but now you're playing like you're a nice person because all these people looking at you. I don't know. So I don't really watch. So, but I got a couple of thoughts on some of the things I read from that situation. Renee, if you're listening, can we put a couple things on the poll real quick? Because I want to know these things today, and we got some poll questions that I put out yesterday. Working off the clock. Put out some poll questions yesterday that I want to give you guys some answers to as well. Two things coming from the Golden Globes. Apparently this show, is it a show or a movie? La La Land? I don't know if it's a show or a movie, but apparently from what I read, it racked up at the Golden Globe Awards, and I had never heard of it. I watch plenty of TV, and I have never heard of this show. So the first one, Renee, I want to know if people have heard of La La. Have you ever heard of a La La Land before yesterday's Golden Globes? Yes or no? And I didn't get a chance to go see Hidden Figures this weekend. I really wanted to, and I didn't. So now I want to know from you guys how it was, because I found out something about it by watching Vice News, something that normally happens within these type of movies. A white man directed the movie. So, you know, there's a scene in the movie where Kevin Costner is like shutting down racism in the workplace where they're at, because the lady who's she's not the antagonist of the movie. I guess she would be the antagonist, right? She's the main focus of the movie. In the movie, she had to walk like a mile and a half to use the bathroom. and in real life, she just walked her ass into the bathroom because she had to piss. But in the movie, they put Kevin Costner up as like the heroic figure, like no racism here. She can go to the bathroom wherever she wants to, and it didn't really go down like that. This black woman handled her damn business, and you know, they asked the director about like how you switch that up. Like, that seems to be a pretty impactful thing to happen. How you just switch that up? He gave some sort of bullcrap answer. I'm not the dude who thinks that, you know, a movie based on a true story should be factual all the way through. Like, that didn't happen in the book, or that didn't happen for real, or no, not that. But like, certain things like that are, I think, exemplify the power of who that woman was. That, you know, she wasn't just smart, you know, this genius type woman. She was a trailblazer in other areas too, and she didn't need that white man to come in there and save her and tell people that she can go to the bathroom. So I found that weird. So the other poll question, Renee, to go along with the La La Land thing, let's kick it off real quick, man. Hashtag put it on the poll, brought to us by sportsnewsandbrews.com, the homie Rob Calloway's website. Go check it out. I want to know if I want to know if you saw Hidden Figures. What did you think? How was it? Was it good? All right? Was it bad? You know, good, bad, or all right? I think that's fair. So yeah, those two to start things off. Hashtag put it on the poll, POLL, that poll, not the one at the city. We gotta talk about the Atlanta Hawks before I get up out of here tonight. My man Matt, Peter Quill, you guys know him from the chat room if you listen to the show. You know, they hit me up with this thing, and apparently, like, if you're not all the way in with somebody's team that they cheer for, I'm from Atlanta. If you're not like head, shoulders, knees, and toes all the way in with somebody's team, it's like, yeah, man, you hating, dog, man. What the hell you talking about? Like, all right, well, we'll talk about it. I'm gonna try to make sure we talk about it before we get up out of here. I don't want to push it off till Wednesday. We're gonna talk about the NFL playoffs. We got Ben Troupe, I mentioned, coming up, former SEC and NFL tight end, coming up at 7:30, the bottom of the hour if you're listening via the podcast, at around the 30-minute mark. He's going to come on and talk to us about what we saw last week and these badass playoff games. And I got a couple of questions for him. He's from Swainsboro. He's from here in Georgia. And I want to ask him some questions about the Atlanta Falcons. Because of all the teams left, this Falcon squad is very, very perplexing to me. It's a very, very perplexing situation that I'm looking at with these Hawks. And I'm not looking these Falcons, I'm not looking at the team through, fan-colored glasses. Like, everything is perfect with the team. And it's not. And the matchup, when we start talking about matchups and things like that and the things that have changed since week 7 or week 6 of the season when they played the Seahawks in the first matchup this season, things have changed on both sides of the ball. Both things have changed for both teams. So I want to discuss that as well. And I want to talk about the league MVP, but not really. Yeah, kind of in the sense that you guys have normally heard me talk about it. So before we get into this NCAA championship, or not NCAA, it's the College Football Playoff Championship tonight between Alabama and Clemson. Let me run down some of these highlights or these headlines from the day for you guys. I already mentioned the championship game. The wild card games sucked. That's a headline for me. How you people couldn't wait. A lot of people, the media especially, the sports media especially, because they created this thing, this Odell Beckham thing. They couldn't wait for the damn Giants to lose so they could have a new Odell Beckham narrative and a new story and a new person to blame for the loss. And so many of you D-bags just ate it up. Sheep just herded into this thing. Oh, yeah, that's what your ass get for going to Miami. How was that? Like, how was that a thing? Because you can't do it at your job. You can't just wake up one day and be like, let's go to Miami, fellas. Nah, most of us, normal people, got to plan for stuff like that. He's in a different situation. I mean, Odell called me and all. Let me play the voicemail for you guys because I did tape it.
Let's go! Yeah! Turn up!
Yeah, and then he hung up. Yeah, he just hung up, and I couldn't go because I got to do a show on Monday, so I had to miss out. Yeah, I didn't want to see me with my damn shirt off. I know that much. The Jacksonville Jaguars job, Doug Marrone, after reports that Mike Smith was the front runner for the Jacksonville Jaguars job, former Atlanta Falcons head coach Mike Smith, my former college defensive coordinator Mike Smith, was reported to be the front runner for this Jacksonville Jaguars job. But Doug Marrone, the guy who opted out of his deal, you don't never hear that. He opted out of the deal with the damn with the Bills. And I guess he thought he was gonna get another gig, but he's been kind of out of here. What do you mean? Renee says I'm live. What does that mean? What I don't know what that. I think I am. Yeah, that's a question. I think I'm live. Everything looks good from my end. The Golden Globes, I mentioned that already as well. I did not watch. Here's a third one. We on it today, Renee. I hope you ready for this. It's coming down today. And also that's what she said. Hashtag put it on the poll. Did you watch the Golden Globes last night? It's just yes or no. Did you watch the Golden Globes last night? I didn't. I think I got all the highlights from it. I saw a funny video today because I guess Donald Glover mentioned the Migos and Bad and Bougie. And there's a Jake Gyllenhaal video. If you want to go to my Facebook page, it's on there. It's funny as hell. You can go check that out. And here's a headline. That's a headline for me and probably no other news. Like, I've been watching all day, just about on and off, and I hadn't seen any talk of this today. Shout out to the big homie, Colin Kaepernick, man. Shout out to Colin Kaepernick, man. You know what I mean? Like, all those folks, you know what I mean? That's that dude Nate, whatever his name, Nate Boyer and Joe Theismann and these crazy ass white boys who, what is he doing? I'll tell you what he's doing. Outside of him setting up the Know Your Rights thing for the kids, to help them, get their minds right for what's going on in America today and hearing their feelings and getting them prepared for life in this society. Well, Colin Kaepernick already has had a busy all season. Donated $25,000 to Appetite for Change, a nonprofit which promotes urban agriculture as a means of social change. Let's see if we can get somebody on from there. Wednesday, what do we got Wednesday? We got Alex Kaptoff from NFLDraftBlitz.com. We're going to start talking prospects, draft people, people to be drafted before these All-Star games pop off and all this kind of stuff. My man Alex Talk gonna give us a preview on Wednesday. But Renee, let's see if we can get somebody on Wednesday also from Appetite for Change, if only for a few minutes, man, to find out more about their group, because that's something else I want to do too. I want to look into getting myself involved. This show, not just using it for my own personal gain, but getting my show involved in some better things and trying to help shine some light on some issues. At least do that little bit, that little part. What? What's happening with Whitlock, dude? Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. People just pop in the chat room, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like just busting up in your house and screaming something. What's happening? You want to grab your gun real quick? What's happening? Matt just jumped in the room. I just got through mentioning Matt a few minutes ago. Matt is going to make me talk about the Hawks today on this show when I'm trying to get the hell up out of here so I can watch this football game. He just popped in the show and said, Whitlock, bitch ass. Why I agree, first of all, but what's happening? Why is that his title this time? Anyway, let me finish. Oh, Whitlock. Talk about Kaepernick. My bad. My bad. See, I forget what I'm talking about. Yeah, Whitlock, all these cats, right? Yeah, he's the worst. Screw that dude, man. He wrote a $50,000 check to the Mini Waconee Health Clinic Partnership. You say, what is that? These are the people who are providing free clinical services to them people who are out there protesting that pipeline up there. $50,000 for that. Then yesterday, here's the thing that none of you Negroes would do this. I don't give a damn how, they can start lining black kids up in the street and mowing them down with AK-47s. He gave away all his Jordans and all his limited Air Max to the homeless. Size 13. I wear 12 and I got a crib, so I don't qualify. You know what I mean? Damn. It's about to be some hot homeless dudes walking around these streets because they're going to have on these limited J's, these custom Air Maxes, all courtesy of one Colin Kaepernick, man. I know I'm being silly right now, but this is real big stuff, man. This is real huge stuff, man, that this dude is doing. And, it brings me back to something that my man, DJ Rastaroot, said the last time we had him on TV. I mean, on TV. I'm looking at TV. On the show, he talked about, bettering yourself and bettering the things that are around you immediately and then moving forward. And as you see, Colin Kaepernick, man, he pledged to give $1 million out in there. And he could do the Michael Jordan, right? He could just cut the check for $1 million and say, hey, this is my thing. Nah, my man is systematically going to organizations, being a part of the organizations and saying, here's the money, but here I am too. Here's the money. Here I am too. Here go these shoes. I'm talking about $25,000, $75,000. I got it. But that shoe thing is kind of huge. Ever say something about a dude. I'm not the dude that runs out and get the $200 Jordans and the $300 Jordans. That's not my thing. I think I'm just the dude. I'm that old dude who feels like it's the same damn shoe every time. He changed the color and people go wild over it. But say that to one of those dudes who are those sneakerhead cats. Man, they'll be wanting to fight your ass, dog. What you say about Jordans? Yeah, that's why your show whack. That happened. That actually happened. That's why your show ain't crap. I was like, all right, there's that. I'm making jokes. Dudes coming from my head. But yeah, man, shout out to Colin Kaepernick, man. And I think it's ridiculous, man. And it's a sign of this craziness, man, that people want to talk all about Odell Beckham Jr. going to Miami. When Colin Kaepernick is doing real things. Let him do something that white people find disrespectful. They'll have that all on their lips, right? You show me any one of these cats, like we said earlier, Whitlock or Theismann, what's the other, golly, what's his name? What's his damn name? Dilfer, weirdy-eyed, buggy-eyed Jim Harbaugh. He got a Jordan contract. He ain't giving out Jordans, cuz. I mean, he got a contract that he ain't even collecting them. They make khakis for this dude. And he ain't even giving out Jordans to homeless cats. So big up to Colin Kaepernick, man. I definitely wanted to make sure I mentioned that. You know what I mean, in my headlines today, because I think that's a huge thing. Even more, straight up, even more than just the shoes or whatever. But, him looking out for those folks, making sure that they can stay out there and defend their land and defend that pipeline being built. Because they need things while they're there. They can't just be hanging out, you know what I mean, and freezing and folks getting sick, and then because that ends the movement. The more him giving $50,000 for their health clinic, that's huge, man. that allows sustainability. That, food and things of that nature allows sustainability in a movement like that's seemingly uber and ultra important to those folks up there, man. So big up to Kaepernick. I'm not sure if he'll be playing football next year, and at this point, I don't care. Like last year, I was like, man, I hope this dude is good, man. He's good at football, so so everything don't just move on without him. But apparently, man, he's keeping things in the forefront. And also, if I'm able to continue my show, I'll make sure that I'm looking out for it. Let me give you guys the poll questions real quick for yesterday, and then we'll move on and start talking about this championship game. And then in a couple minutes here, we'll welcome in Ben Troupe. So yesterday I asked, I said there's a lot of injuries and bad games at the end of the NFL season. The season is too long, in my opinion. What's the right amount of games? 9% of you guys said 18. You guys ain't got no soul, heart, nothing in your body. You're dead inside. If you want these dudes to play 18 games of football. 64% said, yeah, 16 is good. Even after what you saw this weekend, 64 is still good. You like watching Matt McGlown or whatever his damn name is, Matt McGowan, and freaking Matt Moore. You like watching Matt Moore get killed by Bud Dupree. Yeah, good for you. And I put 14, and only 27% of people said 14 games. And we'll talk a little bit more about this later right here on the One Mic with Big Mike show. I'm being heard right here on Spreaker, the Spreaker app, tune in, and of course, onemicwithbigmike.com. I'm also live streaming on the Facebook page, One Mic with Big Mike, so go ahead on over there and give that a like. Got a little message from Facebook the other day. He said, you're getting close to 500 likes on your page. I was like, really? Not really. It's only like 300 and something. How's that close to 5? I guess it's over 250, so technically it is, but whatever. You can also text the show at 404-902-8104. You can leave your comments below the streaming video on Facebook. Once again, it's One Mic with Big Mike. Or you can jump on in the chat room like Matt and Big L have, and Renee is also here, of course. God dang! Matt said it was 600 pairs, man. Man, shout out to that dude, man. I'm not even this guy. I'm not even this guy that's like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a fan of a player or these players. I'm a fan of this dude, man. Like, as a human being, man, shout out to that dude, man. And his perfect ass afro. I saw a picture of that damn afro, like, from early this season. Man, that joint's so damn round. It's like perfect, like Angela Davis type. You know what I mean? 600 pairs, man. Shout out to that guy, man, for that, man. Because he didn't have to do that. I mean, I know there was, like, I got into it on Facebook a while ago with some white dude. And that was one of his things of contention, right? That was one of his, like, he's a guy that he doesn't have to face any of this oppression that he's talking about, and he's got more shoes than a woman and blah, blah, blah. Well, not no more, homie. Yeah, not no more, Jeb. Yeah, now those shoes are going to be worn by people who don't have them. Man, I told y'all when it started off that this dude has had the right answer at every turn for every ignorant, stupid human being. And in life, sometimes, man, like with Jackie Robinson, it's not about having the best person do it. You know what I mean? It's not enough to have like Cam Newton be that guy or like Russell Wilson, somebody who's better at what they do, but having the right dude to do it. You know what I mean? You hear older people talk about Jackie Robinson. He wasn't the best baseball player. He was the right one. He was the right one for the movement. He wasn't going to do the things that would got everybody, exiled and banished from baseball forever and ever and ever. And Colin Kaepernick is the right dude, man. I'm 100% convinced of it. I was pretty convinced at the beginning, but I'm so convinced now. This dude has the right answer to every criticism. Because I say this again and again and again. I'm not that dude, and I don't know too many people who are that dude. Give away 600 pairs of Jordans? Even if he did like maybe like 100 pair of them and auction them off on, because that would be a move. You auction them off on eBay. They probably gonna go for more because they're his, and then use that money, to buy the homeless cat some, I don't know, some Reeboks or something. I don't know, man. Shout out to that dude, man. That's amazing to me. I've wasted a whole segment just being in amazement because Matt ambushed me with 600 pairs. My gosh. So anyway, we got a championship game tonight, and there's a lot of layers to this thing, and I'm glad. Shout out to the undefeated also, because it's where you're gonna find things that are going to interest us, and by us I mean black people. And the history of the game, as far as the two teams are concerned, these two Southern Dixie teams being led by a bunch of Negroes, two of them playing quarterback, and it wasn't too long ago. There are people still walking this earth right now that can remember a time where that couldn't be a thing. Jalen Hurt is one of six starting quarterbacks for the Alabama Crimson Tide, and like a third of that, him and Blake Sims, is in the last couple of years. You know what I mean? So think about what we say in the 125-year history of Alabama. We're talking 6 starting quarterbacks. None have won a national championship as a starter. Like, I think 4 of them have walked away. Like, Blake Sims has won, but he wasn't the starter that year. It was A.J. McCarron. And when he became a starter, they fell short in his final year at Alabama. So Jalen Hurts has an opportunity to do something historical that isn't being spoken about at all, because everybody wants to talk about drunk-ass Steve Sarkisian and power-hungry, kiss-my-ass Nick Saban and what he did with Lane Kiffin and all this kind of stuff, and the revenge factor and all this kind of craziness, man. But big up to Jalen Hurts. If you guys want to root for somebody, you don't have a dog in the fight other than being like, it's all about the SEC and all that crazy foolishness. If you guys want to root for somebody, man, root for this kid, man. This kid who when asked about like who inspired him to play the quarterback position, he didn't go Mike Vick, he didn't go Taj Boyd or Cam Newton and none of these people. He said his big brother, man. His big brother just graduated from Texas Southern, so shout out to him as well. Historically black college and university, his brother. And then talked about his dad very prominently, man. So, and here's the thing. Going back to that George Karl thing a couple weeks ago, like, I said it then, I'm going to say it again. Don't just dismiss something because it's coming from the mouth of what you might consider to be a bitter old white man. You know what I mean? It matters. Look at this kid on the football field, man. And, like, he got a long way to go. He's only 18. So, next week he might punch a woman and we have to recalibrate the conversation. But look at this kid's demeanor, man, and look at him, like, when he's on the stage, the first time we got to hear him talk this year, listen to him speak and listen to the way he speaks about his dad and the things his dad put him through and the way he understands it now as a man himself. He understands why and how his dad built him and how his dad molded him and why he is the man he is now. That stuff matters, man. Like, don't let that be one of those things where you feel like if you was raised by a single mom, that's a natural affront to your mom. It's not, but it matters when you got a real man, raising these kids and how they are able to conduct themselves, because he looks like something else. This dude running around with these dreads and he got the blonde dreads. He goes to Alabama, cuz I was reading something today about these message boards and these Facebook posts when Blake Sims was about to be named the starting quarterback. People saying stuff like Alabama will never allow him to play quarterback for the school. If it ain't white, it can't be right. This is Alabama. This is like 2 years ago, like 2015. This stuff is still pertinent down there, which, kind of goes to the point of they'll love you until you don't. And this is something I'm going to talk to Ben about here in a couple minutes. Him winning a championship this year might be the beginning of his undoing. Because now, if they win back-to-back, he got to stay in school by rule for 2 more years. You know what that means? He's got to win championships for 2 more years. That's where his bar is. Anything short of that, you'll see. Yeah, because college, of all the fans, small-town college football fans, not the most rational people. Not even close. Not even close to even a little bit being rational. I cringe at the fact that grown men, put their hopes and dreams on an 18, 19, 20-year-old being perfect at doing something, anything, and then be totally distraught when they're not. Yeah. Hey, if Jalen Hurts is to win this, why keep calling, what's his name? Hurt, right? If Jalen Hurts is to win this championship tonight, I hope he enjoys the hell out of it. You know what I mean? Because things are changing in college football. It's not going to be, it seems like it's going to be Alabama every year because ESPN tells you that Nick Saban is some sort of savant, but Urban Meyer's still there. He had a young team this year. JT Barrett got another year. Pep Hamilton is going to be up there now again with Jim Harbaugh in Michigan. We'll see what LSU's bringing to the table. Florida, they get something going on offense, maybe another player. UCLA, they get I think their quarterback's leaving, didn't he? USC, though. Yeah, the landscape of college football is going to be a little bit different over the next couple of years, I think. And then we'll see how the Crimson favorite, looking at my man Jalen. We'll talk a little bit more about this, as well as the NFL playoffs. In the next segment with my man Ben Troupe, we're going to do this thing we do every Monday called Troupe Talk. I'm here, man. Spreaker.com, the Spreaker app. Tune in, as well as the OneMikeWithBigMike.com website. If you guys want to be in on the conversation, just click on that little thought bubble you see on the streaming player to get you right up inside the live interactive chat room. Renee, while we at break, can you do me a favor? Can you check and see if the tune in is live real quick for me? We'll do that. Get Ben on the line, and I'll be right back.
I have one question for you.
Do you or someone you know run a business that could benefit from additional exposure? The One Mike with Big Mike show is currently taking on new sponsors and advertisers. One Mike with Big Mike is currently syndicated across 8 different online platforms, and your company's name could be heard and seen across all 8 as well.
Let's get to work.
Please send all inquiries to Mike at onemikewithbigmike.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support.
All I need is one mic.
When is the best time to talk to your family about staying in touch during a disaster? When floodwaters reach your door? When wildfires are engulfing the edge of your neighborhood? Or an earthquake is destroying buildings? When a tornado is tearing through town? Or a hurricane strikes? Or is the best time perhaps today? During a disaster, you may not be able to stay in touch with your family or friends as easily as you think. And it's not always as simple as using your cell phone. That's why now is the time to take action.
It's the speaker knockers.
Going on. All right, there I am. Welcome back to the One Mike with Big Mike show. I'm here on Spreaker.com, the Spreaker app. Tune in, and of course, OneMikeWithBigMike.com. The show is also heard on demand on all of those 4 outlets, as well as on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and of course, YouTube, where you can catch the video as well. The video is being streamed live right now on Facebook. My Facebook page is One Mike with Big Mike. That's the same thing for my Twitter and my Instagram, so make sure you guys are following me. If you want to get in on the conversation, jump in this live interactive chat room, man. Just click on the little thought bubble icon that you see on Spreaker or on the website, One Mike with Big Mike, and boom, you're right up in the building. It's that time of the show. It is Monday. Monday is the day we talk about football here on the One Mike with Big Mike show, and no better person to do it with than the big homie, former NFL and SEC tight end. His name is Ben Troupe.
It's time for Troupe Talk.
What you talking about? What you talking about?
We're talking NFL and college football with former NFL and SEC tight end Ben Troupe.
Ben Troupe at the 15, at the 10, hurdles a man, spins to the 5. Oh my! Still on his feet, still pounding to the goal line. He's gonna score! He's gonna score!
Troupe Talk. Troupe Talk.
We heading to the top. If you come on.
On One Mike with Big Mike.
Yeah, man. All right, so Ben. And by the way, make sure you guys are following Ben at BenTroupe84 on Twitter and Instagram. And check out the website, BenTroupe84.com. What up, Vince? I see you in the chat room, homie. So let's do what we always do. Let's start in the world of college football. We got to start off with tonight, man. Got a pretty what I think is going to be a pretty decent game here in Clemson and Alabama. First, let me get your overall take on what you expect to see tonight out of both teams.
I expect Alabama to be Alabama. I know that defense is I know they're still kind of reeling because of what happened last year, but I think the defense is going to be, round to go to show them why they are who they are. But I think those guys, man, I think they see some place they can exploit those guys. If the Alabama defense has somewhere they can be exploited, if anybody can do it and should do it, I think it's going to be Deshaun Watson. I think it's going to be a good game, and I hope it's a high scoring game, man. And I hope to see the real Jalen Hurts show up. I don't know who that was.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that because now Steve Sarkisian is calling the plays for the first time all year. They're going to let Lane Kiffin go. Now, we saw what we saw against Washington. Now, I believe Deshaun Watson and those boys are going to put up points, which is going to put a little bit of pressure on that young kid, Jalen Hurts, to put up points in his own right. Now, In other games, he was able to lean on that defense. They scored they scored 60 points this year, man, on defense, man. I heard somebody say something the other day that if they only played defense this year, they would have still went 6-8. That's ridiculous, first and foremost. But with everything that's going on, because I know everybody love to talk about that cultish process thing. Can they keep pace? If Deshaun Watson does Deshaun Watson, because he got Mike Williams this year, he got a couple of weapons that he didn't have last year. Ben, they still scored 40 points last year. Can this team keep up, if need be, with the Alabama team keep up with Clemson?
Yes, and the only reason why they can't keep up is because of the defense, man. They best offense is their defense this year. And the thing about it is, Jalen Hurts, that wasn't a game plan a week and a half ago. That was give the ball to Bo Scarborough. We realized they don't want to tackle him. I mean, because when you look at it, man, that 63-yard touchdown that he ran, that was just some bad tackling. Mm-hmm. So you're not going to win against a Clemson team that can beat you in more than one way. The thing about Clemson that you like is the fact that their defense, while they aren't nowhere near Alabama,
that front is beastly, dude.
And the thing about it is, you know, you look at what Shaq was able to do last year, even coming off, you know, a bad wheel, he was still able to go out there and get pressure. And the thing about it is this the one thing that Clemson got on their side. No matter what, all the pressure is on Alabama. Everybody expects Alabama to win this game. And Clemson say, well, listen, we can go out there and play kind of free. Because, you know, the thing about Nick Saban is, man, he gets his team to play the best on the biggest stages, probably in the national championship games. But while Alabama's probably going to win, I think Clemson needs to win just to keep college football honest. Because if the same team keeps winning, it's going to turn into UConn women's basketball.
Well, but aren't things kind of changing a little bit? I just talked about this in the last segment. I feel like there's a little bit of a shift. Like your alma mater, like they're pretty much a quarterback away. You know, we saw some good things out of them in the bowl game. Pep Hamilton, I just saw before the show started. Pep Hamilton is reuniting with Jim Harbaugh in Michigan, and we saw what they were able to do at Stanford. The talent that they're going to be able to get at Michigan, that's going to do something for them. Urban Meyer's still doing his thing. We understand now Chris Peterson is going to be a player. Obviously, USC is on their way back. Penn State ain't going nowhere, I don't think, anytime soon. So there are going to be more teams. I think it's a slow growth. So Alabama, while they may win this year, I don't think it's going to be UConn basketball. And here's why I want to go with this too, Ben. I'm glad you mentioned that. Because I was talking about Jalen Hurts in the last segment, right? And there's this article I read on the Undefeated. I advise everybody to go read it. And it's talking about the Jalen Hurts being this history in this history making position as one of 6 black quarterbacks to ever start for Alabama. And if he wins this game, will be the first ever in 125 years to win a championship. Here's the thing, though, Ben. He's 18 years old. He's got to deal with those yahoos for 2 more years. So if you set your bar here, championship, is he not screwed, dude? if he don't win 2 more years?
He is. He's kind of setting himself up the same way, kind of like that Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush, Wendell White type team. Because what happens is, your best years might be right now because you are benefiting from the best defense in college football ever. See, it's kind of like, and not to compare the two, but you know, it's like when Trent Dilfer won with the Ravens. If he don't got Ray Lewis in them, you're not winning it.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I think with Jalen Hurts is one of the it's like his gift is his curse. My gift is the fact that I just happen to be on the undefeated team with Alabama. My curse is I'm not gonna have that number one I'm gonna have one of the top defenses, but will they score 50 points next year? Will they hold opponents to 0 points for like 6-7 games? So, and the thing is, people are. I say, listen, it's not that you win; it's the manner in which you win. You can't expect the whole college offense to 0 points every week, and that's what they was doing. So, Jalen Hurts is benefiting from a great defense, one of the greatest defense of all time. And when you look at it, not just in college football, look at the NFL. When Seattle won, what they had, the best defense. When Denver won last year, what they had, the best defense. So I think Jalen Hurts, like you say, he's 18 years old, and his best year might be this year. Because the thing is, you can't fall off. You undefeated. And the thing is, too, people ain't saying that Jalen Hurts, he really hasn't progressed this season. He just did enough in games to win. Because if you look at the LSU game, that game, you know, think about it, he took over in the fourth quarter with his leg.
And I think he's been really up and down as well. Like, he's had some very good games, but the games he hasn't had, like the Washington game, the LSU game you mentioned, they've been like very, very down. And I think that comes with the youth. But here's the other thing, though, Ben. People everybody wants to poo-poo on Lane Kiffin like he ain't that dude. I saw Lane Kiffin put Blake Sims on the football field and win ball games. He did it again this year with an 18-year-old.
He's that dude. Lane Kiffin, listen. Wow. I think Nick Saban is one of the greatest coaches.
He might have effed up, right?
Because he knows how to get the best coordinators. See, people go, oh, Nick Saban, listen. Before Lane Kiffin got there, it looked like they looked against Washington. Hand the ball off to Derrick Henry. Hand the ball off to Mark, and hand the ball off to those, and watch, even Glenn Coffey, those guys in a cloud of dust. That's not football. That's high school football, where you got the best back and they can't stop him. But Lane Kiffin says, let me introduce a passing game.
Right, creatively.
If I can introduce a passing game, the defense goes, wait a minute, do we still keep 7 in the box? Yeah, because you still got, the running team they are, but they got guys that can get out on the outside. And the thing is, Lane Kiffin, let me tell you something, and it goes back to Lane Kiffin. When FAU says Lane Kiffin, you are next head coach, he wanted to leave right then.
No doubt. No doubt.
Then.
First thing smoking.
Because the thing is, listen, Mike, like you say, you do an incredible job on the radio. If CBS come and say, man, we finna give you this, you ain't gonna be like, nah.
Well,
because
they're not calling. We've already ridden in that wagon, and they've decided not to part ways with me.
Exactly, but see what I'm saying is, it's just like when it comes to Lane Kiffin, and any assistant coach or any coordinator, I didn't sign. I got to do this to get to that.
Yeah. And
the thing about Lane Kiffin, he ain't been a head coach. I think he's primed to do what he's doing now because of the ups and downs he went through. And I think Lane Kiffin walking in that meeting with all those other offensive assistants who says, don't act like y'all don't. It's kind of like the commercial. When y'all say, hey, man, why ain't y'all tell me what's happening to me? Why ain't y'all invite him up, so-and-so, so he got the creep. And he don't realize that the text message is right there saying, oh, he got it late. He get to do what all those other offensive assistants saying, look, it's rough coaching under a guy like Nick Saban, because Nick Saban, he doesn't see the difference between the players and the assistant coaches. He treats them the same.
Right, and that's ridiculous.
Except one of them are adults. Some of us are adults, and we're pretty good at what we do. Like, when he went on national TV and said, we came to a mutual agreement, no, Lane told you I was gone. I'm out. The car's running.
I feel the same way.
So yeah, and like you say, Lane Kiffin did his job to the highest level. And the only reason he didn't get a Tennessee or those types of things, because he's done it before. Lane Kiffin said, let me go somewhere that I can show that I can groom myself as a head coach and not have to go to somewhere where these unrealistic expectations are out there. So, hey, man, but I do think it's going to be a good game.
So if they lose tonight,
I don't want you to blow out.
So if they lose tonight, who gets the blame? Are people going to have the balls enough to say it's on Nick Saban, or are they going to take the easy way out and blame Lane Kiffin for not being on the board all the way?
Well, unfortunately, just like the New York Giants, which I know we're going to get to, they already got a built-in excuse.
Yeah, we're going to get there.
They already got a built-in excuse. The Lane Kiffin,
they're really going to blame Lane? Like, if they score 10 points and lose the game, it's not going to be on Sarkisian and my man and Saban? It's not going to be on them, man? Are people that stupid?
It has to follow Nick Saban, because a good coach finds a way to value the people that are helping you do your job.
Absolutely.
And Lane Kiffin is helping you do your job at the highest level. You do not go on national TV and talk trash about, that was just chewing. You don't do that, man.
He's a grown man.
And I just think, like you said, that when it comes to Nick Saban, he's used to always getting all the praise, and he knows that no matter what I say, people are going to say, oh, that's Nick Saban based on what he does. That don't make everything you do right. Just because I'm one of the winningest coaches all the time, that don't make what I'm doing right. I got one of the best coordinators in the country, and I throw him under the bus, and I back over him just in case I missed him. That's crazy.
Dude, let me ask you this.
Crazy to me.
Because I mentioned this to Rob. You know Rob, my former co-host, Rob Calley. I mentioned this to him, but he didn't remember it. Do you remember that rumor? It kind of came and went very quickly that Lane Kiffin was smashing Nick Saban's daughter.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Like, it just came and it left because Nick Saban said it wasn't. And I'm like, nah,
well,
I see the way you treat that dude. I believe he smashed your daughter, B.
Media. Yeah. Listen, he smashed the homie. He smashed the homie, and homie just happened to be last name Saban. And listen, think about it, Mike. Listen, now, you got a daughter. If she smashed one of your homies, you're gonna find
it's
a way
to be a problem.
Let's go to Dave and Buster's or something. It's just you and me. What? Yeah, I want to treat you. But the thing is, Nick Saban can't control the narrative. Once it gets out there, you got to kind of like when, and I don't know if it's the truth, kind of like when Jimbo Fisher, and they say him and his wife was messing with Taylor Jenkins, who I played with before. That was a rumor at one time.
Oh,
and
yeah,
him and his wife get divorced. Crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff.
Yeah. All right, so let's go NFL now. We had some bad playoff football this weekend. Let me ask you this before we get all in deep into the Odell Beckham thing. As a former player, we always hear people talk about distractions, and my mind tells me that whole distraction thing, that's a media creation. Is that a real thing in the locker room? Like when you're in the NFL locker room, is that a real thing? Because I look at you dudes as professionals. You got a job to do. And if somebody's going to ask you some questions, they're going to ask you questions anyway. No matter what they're asking you about, they're going to ask questions anyway. They're the media. That's what they do. Is there really, like, outside of like some dude like getting shot or doing something horrendous, is there really like distractions when it comes to doing your gig?
It can be a distraction, but it has to be something that's pivotal.
Now, what does that mean, though? What does that mean, a distraction?
Like me, a distraction is something to where, like Spygate. What makes it a distraction is they're going to keep finding a way to keep asking about it to the point where the coach won't have to start addressing in the meeting room, to the point that the coach telling you how to talk about it. So that kind of stuff can become a distraction.
So it takes time away from other things that you could be doing, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
And it's almost like I was in Tennessee. You know, not to bring up Pac-Man Jones now, but I was in Tennessee where Pac-Man Jones got suspended for a year. He got suspended for a year. And the thing is, it's like this, Mike. You have to answer questions that you had nothing to do with.
Okay.
And that's what gets frustrating. You see what I'm saying? It's like, why are you asking me about him? Because you're a teammate here. I don't control what he does. Yeah. It's like if I tell somebody, well, he ate chicken yesterday. They'd be like, what they got to do with me? That he ate chicken. But y'all gonna ask me, and that's the thing about being on the team. You will have to answer for someone else's bad decision. It just goes with it, and depending on how long that goes, it'll decide, how. But I think that the only team that's built to deal with distractions are teams like the Patriots, like the Steelers.
Mm.
Other teams that ain't really got the right person at the helm, they can't handle it. It'll cause their team to lose.
All right, so now and by the way, I'm talking to Ben Troupe. If you just tuned in, he's Ben Troupe. He joins me every Monday for Troupe Talk. Follow him on Twitter and Instagram at BENTROUPE 84. No, he's not just some dude named Ben Troupe. He's a Georgia-Florida game Hall of Famer. He's also a second-round pick in, 04 for the Titans. You heard him just mention that. He's also played an All-American down at Florida. Also check out his website, BenTroupe84.com. So last night, Ben, after this Giants game was over, Ben texts me, and Ben says, these receivers didn't get the memo, especially OBJ. If you go to Miami and the club, and you publicize it to the world, you must ball. No excuses. The NY media is thinking, dang, Christmas is over, and we still getting gifts. Coughlin is somewhere laughing his tail.
He is.
But here's the thing, man. I think that's too easy, and it's too lazy to make that immediate linkage between these dudes going to Miami on Sunday and then turning around on.
Look, I don't think the two correlate.
Dude, it was cold as hell out there, man.
Listen. But it's the thing, too. Think about it. Had they won, it would have been the same
they didn't,
thing.
though.
Oh, they still wouldn't have. Exactly. So the thing is, listen. I didn't have a problem with them going to Miami or to the club. You go to the club in New York. The difference is you don't film it. Well, what are you filming it for?
It's 2016. It didn't happen if it's not on Instagram. That's like what these kids think. It didn't even exist if it didn't happen on Instagram.
And the thing about OBJ is this: you do enough things to give the New York Times plenty of bulletin board material, plenty of headlines. You're going to punch the wall, for which you knew was drywall, by the way. You knew it was drywall.
Oh, yeah. Come on.
You ain't crazy.
Yeah, come on.
And number two is, it's like you didn't have a bad game. You had your worst game of your career. Mm-hmm. And the thing about it is I don't think, like I say, I knew it wasn't going to be a correlation with the two. But see, you go overboard. What you going out there with no shirt on for?
Because he's that dude. He's that dude. You know what I mean? Let me ask you, how many playoff games did you play in?
I only played in one.
Only one? Okay, now I hear people always talk about the difference. You know, I remember a couple of years ago, many years ago, my homeboy was in the league with the Jaguars, and they made it to, I think, the AFC Championship. It was Dan Marino's last game, whatever game that was. And I remember talking to him about it and asking him about that narrative that things get ramped up in the playoffs. To me, it feels as though that your mind tells you or reminds you about the finality of it. The fact that you're playing another good team. You're not playing an average team. You're playing one of the good teams, a playoff team in the NFL. I'm going to ask you this in relations to Odell Beckham. To ask you, could that be a part of what because he knows the team goes, damn Eli, damn that. The team goes where Odell Beckham Jr. goes, and Eli goes where Odell Beckham Jr. goes. And knowing that's the case, showing up in that game with all the Miami stuff still on his mind, could it be a possibility that dude was just pressing? He was pressing too hard?
Most definitely. I mean, that's listen. The thing I realized about the playoff is, you're the only game on TV. But it's not Monday night. It's not Thursday night. It's not Saturday. Everybody's watching, and there is no. Oh, we can figure out what we did wrong next week. It's over. And the thing about it is, with Odell, to me, I definitely know he was pressing. Odell Beckham Jr. jumping for passes, got to jump for. Oh, and this is the problem with Odell Beckham Jr. He makes the even impossible look regular,
and it hurts him in the end, doesn't it?
Exactly, he couldn't do the regular stuff. It's one of those things to where Odell, you're gonna have drop passes, but the thing is, it just looks uncanny. You dropping passes that the average. Listen, he ain't dropping passes that anybody can catch to make the catches that he was dropping yesterday. And I do think he was pressing. I do think he was trying to live up to. It's like he's trying to prove you can't go out there with the mentality of, I'm going to show these people that Miami didn't matter.
I feel
you got to keep your mind on the game. Because what happens is, I always look at how players answer questions. You always kind of put in your mind what they're going to ask you. When they ask somebody, Miami, what you should have said was this: Miami ain't got nothing to do with it. And just move on. But the fact that he's going, what people going to do what they do is unfortunate. That means you trying to justify. Listen, man, I'm a grown man. I went to Miami. It ain't got nothing to do with it. We lost. That's it. Ain't nothing we can do about it. But the thing is, what bothers me is the fact that when it comes down to it, you didn't lose because you went to Miami. You lose because y'all did not execute on offense or defense.
Oh, defense. That Aaron Rodgers boy. That Aaron Rodgers. Look, didn't we talk about this last week? These teams that have been playing playoff football for weeks on weeks on weeks on weeks on weeks, you don't want to see them when the playoffs start, man. And Aaron Rodgers and his team is one of them. Now, let's talk about, let's go there because we got to talk. I can't let you out of here without talking about these Atlanta Falcons. And they got to play this team. Now, I'm going to give you this crazy stat I heard Kurt Menefee say yesterday. Crazy as hell. 6 times, right? The Giants and the Packers have played in the playoffs. Every time the winner of that game won the Super Bowl. That's
I heard that.
That's not a small sample. That's a pretty decent sample size. So, Atlanta Falcons fans, first of all, I'd like to say you're screwed. Second of all, let's talk narratives here, Ben, because you're like me. You're from here, and you know the fan base here. You know how they can be rational at times. Give me first. I want you to give me the narrative after a Falcons win next week.
After the Falcons win,
after they beat Seattle, what's the narrative going to be?
The narrative's going to be, you're going to see every last Rise Up commercial in Atlanta.
They're going to bring Samuel L. Jackson back.
Samuel L. Jackson going to be there. He instead of saying what's in your wallet, he's going to be saying Rise Up. And listen, and the thing about Atlanta is, they're going to act as if you won the game to get to the big one.
Right.
You ain't won the big one.
Right. You're right about that, brother.
The problem with Atlanta is, y'all celebrate too early. See, the thing about, Mike Tomlin said it the best after they win. He said, we're going to do whatever we got to do to win. And he looking like he just lost in the interview. He don't look like he the winning coach.
Because he knows. He's been there before.
Atlanta, exactly. When you ain't used to winning, it shows.
Yeah.
It's like taking somebody that ain't never been nowhere nice.
Yeah, everything's a championship.
Boy, calm down. So I think with Atlanta, this is the thing about Atlanta. Just like all the pressure's on Alabama, all the pressure's on Atlanta. Ain't no pressure on Seattle. Seattle's been there, they've won. If they lose, it's fine. But see, Atlanta, you might have the MVP. This is the year. Atlanta and the Georgia Bulldogs are the same. This is the year. Y'all say that every single year. And for some reason, it hasn't been a year yet. So I just think that, it's like the time that they thought that the Miami Heat was going to beat the Dallas Mavericks. They didn't beat them, and you got some of these stores selling Miami Heat world champs. Right. They had to pull that stuff down off the website. Listen, Atlanta, if you're listening, breathe. If you beat Seattle, breathe, right?
And understand you got more business. Yeah, you got more business to handle.
Understand that to me personally, if Green Bay beat Dallas,
it's a wrap, right?
Because Aaron Rodgers just showed you my number one receiver went down. But I'm A-Rod. It don't matter, man. Give me some boy that can run some routes, and we'll make it do what it do. Yeah. And I got to say this. Landon Collins, The next time you say, I didn't think he had enough room to get it in, think about this. Why is he jumping for the ball if he don't?
Yeah, he's threatening needles.
Come on,
that kid's
Landon.
out there threatening needles.
Come
Now,
on,
okay, well give me the other narrative. Give me they lose narrative, because that should be entertaining. They lose. Let me give you the whole picture though. Let me give you the whole picture. They don't just lose. No, you pick one. Do they get blown out, or do they lose at the end? Because let me tell you something. I'm on social media. The excuses are already on the table. They already talking about how the referees love Seattle and they hate the Falcons. Like, that's already about to happen. So let's say let's not say they lose a close one. Let's say they get beat by 17 points. What's the narrative?
If Atlanta lose, this is what the narrative is going to be. Atlanta ain't ready for prime. They're still a year away, and Seattle blew them. Because I believe that's what Seattle's going to come in and do. They're going to say,
they got their running game back.
Can these receive? Oh man, Rawls out there looking like.
And Pro Psych gonna be back this week.
So listen, if Atlanta loses, it'll be because there's two things they're gonna say. Matty, he ain't got ice in his veins. That defense is still a year away, and I think Ray Lewis said something to that. When I make you play football, all that cute stuff, I'm gonna throw that out the window. I'm gonna make you play football. I'm gonna get in these receivers' faces. We're gonna double Julio. We're gonna see if Gabriel is who he is. We're gonna make them running backs really run the football, because you got athletes on that defense that can force them running back, take nothing away from Freeman. You know what I'm saying? And they're nice. But I'm telling you, the problem with Atlanta is they always got an excuse because that's all they've ever done. They don't really know what to do if they do win. Because if we win, because think about it, if we win, think about it now. Listen, I like what Atlanta Falcons doing, but think about it. We've heard every excuse in the book, and Atlanta said, we got some more. We got some more if we don't win. But if they win, that's what I think will scare them the most, because what do we do now? What do we do if we
I already
win
told him,
this
man.
thing, and we
talked about it last week, man. Kyle Shanahan's out of here, so Matt's going to be starting over. You know what I mean? He's going to be starting over next year. Last thing I got for you, we're talking right now with Ben Troupe. Troupe Talk going on every Monday right here on the One Mic with Big Mike show. Follow him on Twitter and Instagram, Ben, TROUPE 84, and check out the website, bentroupe84.com. Based on what we saw this weekend, can I make the case that Derek Carr is the National Football League's MVP? Because if we're talking about most valuable player, and we're not, because this is my problem every year in the NBA, in the NFL, we're calling it the most valuable player, when I think it should be the MOP, the most outstanding player. And I think people keep that V in there to keep up these ridiculous arguments and conversations.